guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I am going to be sharing another review with you. This is actually a little bit of a collection that I've been testing out. So it's from Too Faced, it's the Tutti Frutti collection. I just have 3 items from this collection that I've been testing out and I wanted to share my thoughts with you guys. I did purchase all of these products with my own money and I did get them at Ulta. So yeah, if you guys want to see my review on this, keep on watching. Alright, before we get started, if you guys are new to my channel, thank you so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoy this review and I hope you choose to subscribe while you're here. But if you've never seen a review from me before, I do like to do things a little bit differently. So I like to start out with just my opinion on the product and then we'll get into swatches and a demo at the end of the video. So as I mentioned, I have 3 products here from the collection to talk about. The first one is this eyeshadow palette. This is called the Razzle Dazzle Berry Eyeshadow Palette. This is what it looks like on the inside. It's very reflective, so hopefully you can still see it. It's a lot of pinks and purple tones in here. Very cool tone palette. I have been testing this out for a couple weeks now and I have used every single shade in this palette now so that I could share my review. It is what is on my eyes today. And as I mentioned, that demo will be at the end of the video. So in this eyeshadow palette, you do get 7 total shades in here. There are, let's see, 2 matte shades. There's 1 satin shade, there's 2 metallics, and then there's 2 glitter shadows. So that is what you get in this palette and it is $34, which I think is actually a pretty decent price. The packaging itself is very cute. I love the raspberries on the front and then it has just like the reflective gold. All the names of the eyeshadows are on the back of the palette here. And then it is very sturdy and it has a magnetic closure. So I think this actually would travel really nicely. Oh, and it does have a scent. It has kind of a berry scent. I think it's kind of fun. I don't think I've had another product with that type of scent before. Most of the time it's like chocolate or vanilla, so I like that they did a different scent with this. And then I do also have this bronzer highlighter duo. This is called the Pineapple Sun, and it has a highlighter on one side and then the bronzer on the other. I did use both of these products on the look I have on today as well. And this little palette here is $30. And then the last product that I have to talk about today, this is called Apricot in the Act, and this has a blush so this one has a blush and a highlighter. This one is a blush and highlighter duo, and this one is also $30. So these are the 3 products that drew my attention first into the collection, and that's why I picked them up. But honestly, of the 3, the only one that I would actually go back and purchase again would be this palette. I feel like $30 for these 2 for just a powder duo like this is maybe just a little more than I would pay. I think that they are okay, but they're not the best quality for these types of cheek products. The eyeshadow palette, however, I'm actually very impressed with this and I'll tell you why. I think the quality is really good actually, all except these last 2 shades here, the 2 glitter shades, which is kind of this, is that purple or blue? It's hard to tell. It's like this really dark, almost blue, black with glitter in it, and then the dark purple with glitter in it. Both of those are just a little bit on the chunky side, and they're not as pigmented. So those 2 I was not as impressed with, but the entire rest of the palette I actually really do like. And I think $34 for this much product is actually a pretty decent price. So I would definitely repurchase this. I have been wearing the rest of this palette pretty much non-stop. The eye look that I'm wearing today is kind of been a go-to look from this palette. I've been using that same combination of shades and I really like it, especially for this time of year. So I definitely would recommend picking this up if you like these kind of colors. I've been really into wearing pinks and purples recently, so for me this was a total win. I have been really enjoying it. But these 2 I would probably pass on. I'm gonna keep them around at least for a while because I think that they're okay, and I have already spent the money, but if you're thinking about picking them up, I just wouldn't recommend them. I don't think they're that great. I think there's individual blushes and highlighters that are a little bit more affordable than these, that are better quality, and I'm not a big fan. And you'll see actually in the footage at the end, especially this blush, I feel like I have to really build it up to be able to see it at all, and I still feel like it's not that pigmented. I think the bronzer is okay. It doesn't blend as good as I would like it to blend. I feel like it's a little bit on the harsh side even when I kind of buff it out. This highlighter I like better than the highlighter that comes in with this blush. The highlighter that comes in with this blush I think is garbage. It's so glittery. I end up with like chunky glitter all over my face, and the color's not great on my skin tone. It's almost like an orangey gold, so it's a little dark for me. I think if you have a deeper skin tone, you might be able to pull the color off better. However, it does still have that chunky glitter in there, which I'm just not a fan of. I know some people don't mind a glittery highlight. It just does not work for me. So definitely would say pass on these two, but I think this one is worth the investment. So let's go ahead and jump into some swatches now. I want to start with this guy here because it's little and easy to get out of the way. All right, so here are the swatches for the Fruit Cocktail Blush Duos, and this is the Apricot in the Act version. So here is the blush that I'm wearing today. That swatch right there is pretty built up. I had to actually like dig my finger in about 4 times to get it that intense. So as you can see, the pigmentation is super light on that, which actually works really nicely with fair skin tones, but the problem is the highlighter is meant for more medium to deep in my opinion. Look how dark that highlighter is. So I think it's a gorgeous color. It's kind of like I mentioned already, almost like a peachy orangey gold color. I would definitely see myself using this more as an eyeshadow than as a cheek highlight because I just don't think it would look good on my cheeks. However, if you have a little bit of a deeper skin tone, I think a medium skin tone, this would look gorgeous. It's just, yeah, unfortunate that they paired these two together because I think they're meant for different skin tones. Next up, let's do some swatches on this little guy. Alrighty, so here are the swatches for the Pineapple Paradise Strobing Bronzer in Pineapple Sun. So the thing about this is you could totally like swirl your brush between the two, I think. Oh, is that what you're supposed to do with the other one? Oh my god, that might be what you're supposed to do with them. Well, you probably could. I didn't even think of that. I don't know, I don't think I'd like that. Okay, sorry. Distracted a little. Anyway, this one is the Pineapple Sun. So I guess there you can either concentrate your brush on one side or the other, or you could totally just swirl your brush to come up with a different color. But anyway, this little duo I like better than the first one I showed you guys. I definitely think the bronzer is just a little bit on the patchy side, but the color is not bad. And then the highlighter, I actually really like this highlighter, but again, it's just not, in my opinion, anything special. I feel like I have highlighters that look like that perform a little bit better. So it's just a pretty basic gold highlight. I mean, there's nothing too special there. So yeah, that's the second one. All right, and let's do swatches on the eyeshadow palette. Okay, so here are the swatches. I kind of swatched this in a weird way, and of course when I lift my arm it turns. So yeah, we're gonna make this work. So the first shade is called Dazzle. You might not be able to see it. It is right here under the K on my little tattoo here. It is kind of like a almost like a nude pink color, and then it has a satin finish. It's gonna be really hard for you guys to see that because it's very close to my skin tone. I have been using that to set my eyelid, and I think it actually works okay, even though it has a satin finish. It actually has been working okay for that. Next to it, we have this shade here, which is called Pink Suede. It's a really pretty, it does have a pink undertone, but it's almost like a pinky brown color. It works great as a blending shade or a crease shade, and that's what I've been using it for the most. And then we have this shade, which is my absolute favorite in the palette. When I swatched this in store, that was the reason I bought this palette. It is called Razzle. I honestly was not interested in this collection, and then I was walking through Ulta just looking at new products, and I swatched this and I was like, oh my god, I need this palette. I think it's so beautiful. It does have some glitter in it, but it actually is really smooth and extremely pigmented, and the glitter does not fall away. It stays on my eyelid all day, and I do have that on my lid today. It's one of my absolute favorites from this. It is my favorite from this palette, but it's one of my favorite eyeshadows right now in general. I just think it's really stunning. And then we have this color here, which is again another metallic. That one is called Buried Treasure. It's almost like a metallic cranberry. It's not ultra pigmented, but it is still very pretty. I think that the Razzle one is a little bit better formula. And then next to that we have that really pretty magenta berry color, and that one is matte, but it is so pigmented and it blends out so nicely. I'm in love with that color, and that's called Boys and Berry. Boys and Berry. Really pretty. And then we have these two shades, which I'm just not a fan of. You can see from the swatches, they don't swatch well. And I did build up these swatches. These are not one swipes. This is a couple swipes, and that's how good I could get it to do. So this one here is called Bad to the Berry. It's almost like a bluish black, and then it has some chunky glitter in there. I have tried using that on the outer corner. It's garbage on the outer corner. It does not work. The only use I can find for it is smudged out on my lower lash line, which is what I did with it today. But I definitely get glitter fallout when I do that. But if I'm gonna use it, that's probably the only way I will use it. It does give you a little bit of that like smoky lower lash line. So it's okay for that. It's just not fantastic. And you can see the actual pigmentation is not, it's not great. And then the last one here, that one is called That's My Jam, and it is a, well, it's kind of just a purple with purple glitter in it. Purple and blue glitter, it looks like. That one, the pigmentation on that is horrible. I tried building that up on my lid. I tried building it up on my outer corner. I can't get that to show up on my eye at all. It's just very low pigmentation, and then it has the chunky glitter, and as you can see, it does not blend well. Like, I'm just really not a fan of those last two shades. The rest of the palette I think is pretty good, and because the price is low enough, I feel like it is still worth the money if you see yourself using these shades here. So overall, I wasn't super blown away by this collection. I think the only reason I still really am loving this palette is because there's a couple shades in here, specifically this magenta, matte magenta color, and then this pink metallic color that I just have been drawn to and using a lot and really enjoying. If those two shades were not in here, I probably would not at all recommend this, but I think it is a really nice palette for the most part. I hope that makes sense. There's definitely some pros and cons to this palette. As far as the cheek products, I wouldn't even recommend them. I don't think they're worth the money, but this one, depending on what you're looking for, you might feel that this is worth it. In my opinion, it's worth it for me, only if you're gonna use those shades. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. I do have that demo for you next, so make sure you stay tuned to watch that. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and leave me any comments down below. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys. So I did already prep my lid today using my concealer, and now I'm gonna go in with a Real Techniques brush and use the shade Dazzle to set my eyelid. Next, I'm going to take this Gorgeous Cosmetics B112 brush and put it in the shade Pink Suede, and I'm going to use this shade in my outer corner and crease and just kind of softly buff that out. And then I'm going to take this little pencil brush in the same shade, Pink Suede, and just run that on my lower lash line, just to add a little smokiness to the lower lash line. And now I am dipping my Sigma E25 into the shade Boys in Berry, and I'm gonna go ahead and work this onto the outer corner and slightly up into the crease as well. Next, I'm going to use my finger to apply the shade Razzle all over my eyelid, just pressing that on there. Now I'm using the same pencil brush to apply the shade Bad to the Berry to my lower lash line, and I'm carefully pressing this in because that glitter does fall away pretty easily. Now I'm just applying my liner, and then I'm going to apply my mascara after this. The liner I'm using on the lower lash line is the Lancome Drama Liquid Pencil in the shade Boards DCN, and then I'm using my Kat Von D Liquid Tattoo Liner for my upper lash line. Now I'm going to go ahead and apply my bronzer using the Pineapple Sun bronzer here, and I went ahead and applied that to all the contour areas of my face. Next, I'm applying the blush from the Apricot in the Act palette here, and as you can see, I really had to build this up. It was very low on the pigmentation. And going back into the Pineapple Sun palette, I'm going to apply the highlight from in this palette, and just lightly dust that on the top of my cheekbone here. And that completes the look. Thank you guys so much for watching this video today. I hope you have a fantastic day. See you next time.